You can watch them interact with other people, men or women.
Your bottom row of teeth look fantastic.
This is...
I'm like watching you talk, and I'm like, wow.
Well, thanks, babe.
They look great.
Yeah. So...
Hey, my loves, welcome back to our channel. We are back and we are talking all things Married at First Sight. I am your girl, Intisar Eleanor. This is my beautiful husband, Joseph.
Hey.
And we are back. And basically, they saying this is the last rodeo. It's not. How could you call it the last rodeo and then tell us it's 3 episodes left?
A lot of people online was perturbed by this, which I could appreciate.
Really?
Yeah, I saw people like eating them up in the comments on their own posts. Like, why would y'all do this? Like, why would y'all? Which I'm going to echo the same sentiment. Like, I've never seen them do this before. Where correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't remember ever watching a season where decision day didn't end on decision day. Like, where everybody didn't go and make their decision.
Literally.
This is weird, and I don't understand what's happening.
It's very weird. And another thing I really don't like about it is that, and I think you said this to me earlier, we would have still watched the episode.
Right.
You could have just gave us all the decisions instead of this stupid ass.
It felt cheap.
30 minutes worth of them saying goodbye to each other for a night.
Yeah, it felt
It was
cheap.
like we didn't need to do that.
And I think that people are starting to feel like you're trying to play them, which I can appreciate. Like, I saw a lot of people in the comments. I saw a couple comments like, I'm done after this season.
Yeah.
Like, people are really low-key fed up. So Lifetime, if you're watching, you should take note. Like, this is like, there's so many things that y'all are doing that y'all don't even have to do.
The
overproducing, like, less is definitely more. This is reality TV.
So overproduced. They're reading the things like, once upon a time, I was a single man.
No,
and
seriously.
now I'm a married man. It's like,
nah, for real.
Enough. Like, enough is enough is
Everybody
enough.
stand at the door and wave bye, bye, bye,
Bye. It's too much. It's too much. So let's dig on in and talk about this. The first couple to go was Eris and Jasmine, which I was actually surprised that they went first. But maybe it was just a fast no.
Yeah, I think they was just like, let's get this out the way. They knew.
They knew?
Yeah, they knew.
It was a lot to unpack there, though. So I felt like Jasmine did make the right decision. I'm really proud of her for moving forward in that direction, because it did feel like for a long time she wasn't advocating for herself. And then he get to have this narrative that she's not speaking up for herself or whatever the case may be. And I didn't love that. And the more
she wasn't speaking up for herself.
But
she also wasn't an active participant in this marriage.
I don't believe. So I was watching this, right? And I'm watching this on full. We watch it. I watch it twice. Joe watches it the first time because he pays attention. And I don't. And so the second time around, I'm watching it. And it really got me to thinking, like, is he gaslighting us a little bit? Like, oh, well, because you didn't... stand up for yourself. You don't have self-love or self. I'm seeing this both ways. That's what I'm saying.
Well, he didn't. Well, that's not what. It's funny. Ironically, him and Chris basically said the same thing, and it wasn't. And I don't think that either one of them said it in a derogatory, gaslighting way.
You're right.
I think they both were saying men like confidence in a woman. You know what I mean? And there's a line. Because the confidence goes in the cockies, and then people get turned off.
What's wrong with cocky?
It just, people get turned off by it.
Okay.
So men like confidence in a woman. And so...
what does confidence look like? Let me slow you down.
Confidence, you can see a woman's confidence in her walk. You know what I mean? Like, I can see somebody walking down the street and immediately know her level of confidence. You know what I'm saying? Or I can... obviously, you can't know it hardcore, but you can kind of have an idea. And 9 times out of 10, you can, 9 times out of 10, you can tell just from like their walk, their demeanor, how they carry themselves. You can watch them interact with other people, men or women. So men like confidence, but also men don't like most people. And this isn't even a man thing. I think most people don't love to be around Debbie Downers. The woe is me. The woe. Yeah. I've been around people who
even if they are a Debbie Downer.
Right. And that can turn you off no matter what your aesthetic is. Right.
Okay.
Like I've been around women who I just kept around just because they were just such positive energy. I wasn't even really attracted to them. When in a dating world.
Yeah.
I wasn't even attracted to them. But they were such positive energy that I was just like, almost to the point.
I'm a vibe.
Right. You know what I mean?
So, I'm respecting the vibe.
Both Chris and Aris was basically like, you're a wet blanket, low key. That's what they were trying to say. You know what I'm saying? And we can see that in both of them. In Nicole, a lot more. Nicole was a lot more overtly a wet blanket, where Jasmine was a lot more covertly a wet blanket. Like, you know what I mean?
Jasmine got kind of stuck as we like continued to watch like this unfold. This could have turned around
1,000%.
It really could have, and I do think he had told her something that put the ball in her court, and then after that, like you can't tell somebody you don't find them attractive and then try to dictate the terms of the relationship. You almost, because you have the room to say something like that, got to back up and then see how they navigate from there, right? So when she didn't just was like, oh, that's your loss. You know what I mean? Whatever. We're going to keep doing our thing. I'm just going to like, just kept going. Like, okay, you don't, you short or you're this or you're that, like whatever. I think to him, it felt like low self-esteem. Like I need to affirm you in that manner. Yes. Even though that might not be the case right now, but we can grow to this. Like, you know what I mean? Like you got to know you're not going to always be everybody's aesthetic.
Especially when you sign up for a show called Married at First Sight.
But you can be the vibe.
Just be you.
You can be the vibe.
And I would tell people that comes on this show, just be you.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter whether they are attracted to you initially or not. Just be you, because the attraction will grow or it won't grow.
And you can set the tone.
Yes.
You can set the tone. Like after somebody tell you that they think you funny looking, you really do got the keys.
The pressure's off.
The pressure is off.
Rock out.
Quite
you
literally.
You have nothing to lose.
Quite literally. And then you can laugh about it. I didn't think, I'm not going to say I didn't think Joe was attractive at first, but I just don't think I paid Joe any mind. And I think vice versa. You know what I mean?
Well, we definitely paid each other mind. But we get
No,
your
point. I don't think I paid you romantically. Let me say that.
Yeah, we were
definitely.
We flirted a lot.
Not until not in the beginning.
Yeah, we did. But this is we did.
I don't remember.
But the point of it is
I always want to relate.
Yeah. The point of it is that you greatly diminish your chances of anything growing if you check out the minute you find out that somebody is not into you for whatever reason.
Right.
Especially when you're on a show called Married at First Sight and you're married and you're going to live with this person.
But also, everybody is talking about chemistry like y'all did well in science. And it just really blows my mind. This is coming from a girl who's a bio major with a chemistry minor. Okay? So I know chemistry. Y'all be talking about chemistry like y'all got good grades in science. A lot of y'all can't count past 10. You don't know what the Pythagorean theorem is. You don't know anything. And y'all want to sit up here. Y'all don't know what photosynthesis is, nothing like that. But you know what it is to have chemistry with another human. It's not real life. Like, you know what I mean? It's not real. Everybody you encounter is not going to give you a spark.
Right.
That does not mean that they aren't someone who could add value.
Or that the spark can't grow.
Or that the spark can't grow. Your butterflies might be asleep.
Right.
Hell, it might be you, high key.
Right.
A lot of people don't recognize that either. Like a lot of times when we're not feeling the spark, it really is us. We're the wet blanket. Mm-hmm. We're the one who's not open. You know what I mean? And it's like, I think that that's what we're missing here. Like, it could have been something. I honestly believe this in my heart of hearts. It really don't matter what you look like. and I feel like you and I are both on the other side of the spectrum, so I'm saying this from a place of privilege, but it really matters not what you look like if you are confident. You got to know that you're a good human. You got to know that you're that human. You got to know that your presence is a present.
Yeah.
And I think that's what he was getting at. Like, no matter what you would have said to me, I was going to do my thing. You know
1,000%, because everybody can relate to
Even
that.
though he did.
I haven't met a woman who don't want a man with confidence. I've not met one, and I'm talking about races, ages, no matter where their financial standing. I've never met a woman who didn't want a man with confidence.
But inversely, men want that too.
That's what I'm saying. So this shouldn't be hard to understand, is my point. Like when Chris said it, Eris said it, it shouldn't be hard to understand.
I think the self-love
I've never met anyone, especially I've never met any woman who didn't want a man with confidence. And Chris and Eris basically said the same thing.
I just feel like she wanted time with Eris, and he just was not going to give it to her.
I felt like,
and I appreciated that.
I felt like the running theme of this season was people wallowing in their pity.
Oh.
And Jasmine absolutely wallowed in her pity of whatever happened in the honeymoon. The same thing happened with Gina. The same thing happened. The same thing happened with Kirsten and Shaquille. There was a running thing of people just wallowing. Something happened. There was adversity in the onset, and everybody just wanted to soak in it for the entire season. And that's pretty much what it was.
Bored. They said no. Next, Chris and Nicole was next. Let me tell y'all what Nicole said that burned my britches. Nicole said, this whole process has been a struggle. And I'm just like, how, Nicole?
Y'all was the least strugglers. Even the experts said they're almost worried for y'all because y'all had no real altercation.
But y'all, words mean things.
But she wants to be, she's a glutton for punishment. She wants, some people are not comfortable thriving.
It's the truth.
And that's Nicole. That's Nicole. And this is also what Chris was talking about. That's who want to be around that all the time?
Nobody. How many of y'all have met somebody who is like that? Who's like, you could be really experiencing the same thing with them, and everybody has their own perspective, but the words they use, because I don't think that it's that she's experiencing this at this level. I think she uses words incorrectly. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, you ever meet somebody like that and you just sitting there like, damn, bitch, is that bad? Like, what is going on? Like, to me, it's just like, I just feel like she's using words incorrectly. And because she talks so much, it's like a constant state of conflict and drama. It's almost like she lives in Gotham.
Yeah.
It's like the Joker is chasing her. Here comes Bane.
It's always
Where's
something.
Batman?
It's always
like,
a shoe
it's
about to
always
drop.
something. And it's just like, girl, Chris adores you. Like, it's just, you know what else she said that I didn't like? And I don't think you and I have unpacked this at all this season. This whole conversation around appeasing your spouse.
But this is just, I don't think, honestly, which we can talk about this.
Okay.
I just don't think anything she says is legitimate. Like, I think she's constantly looking for, and she even admitted to it a little bit in this episode, she's constantly creating problems out of thin air. She's constantly looking.
That's not up for debate.
She's fighting ghosts.
Good.
She's worried about things that hasn't happened yet. She's creating problems that hasn't. She's literally the epitome of the person who says, "Are you mad? Are you mad? Are you mad?" until you're mad. And it's like, I wasn't mad when you started asking me this, but now I'm pissed off.
Somebody just did this to me where I wasn't even thinking about, I had done like a gesture for them, and then they immediately text me like, all you had to do was like call. And I'm sitting here like, damn, I don't even get a thank you for my gesture? Like, I was going to call you, I was in the shower. But you're so hell-bent on a narrative in your brain.
A negative narrative.
A lot of y'all do not live in reality. And I mean that respectfully. And I'm saying that from a space of like having certain, I don't want to call it childhood trauma, but just being raised a certain way and recognizing how that affected my view on things and my personal perspective, and how you almost have to fight it. And I do think she gets it from her dad, because he's not the most positive human either.
Oh yeah, she get it from somewhere.
She gets it from somewhere, because this is a learned behavior. This is not necessarily something that, like, most children are optimistic until something happens. You know what I mean? So it's like, I just find her to be sad.
Yeah.
Sad. And people like that, like, where you can't, it's almost like, are you actually happy when I do nice things for you?
Right.
Or is that fake too?
Yeah.
Is that something that you're creating? It's like,
it's one of those things where, you know, we've all been around people who who can find the negative in anything.
Literally.
Right. And I think that she's one of those people, and that can be exhausting.
I wish he did say no, to be honest, but we knew he wasn't going to do that, because he got a lot of things, but gumption ain't one of them. That ain't one of them. But I want to go back to the appease part. How do you feel about appease? What do you think is the narrative? Like, I don't understand what the problem is that Nicole keeps bringing up, that he wants to appease me.
I think that...
What's that about?
I don't think that the problem is legitimate, like I said. I think she created this whole thing. I think that what she was trying to do was say that he was spineless, which... I don't think that he...
That's what she was trying to do, and I don't like that. Yeah. Babe, you spot on.
I think that's what she was trying to do, and I don't believe that that's what he is. I think that he's just a good spouse. And I think that in her attempt to find the negative in every silver lining, that was the lowest hanging fruit, because he is very attentive, and because he is very unselfish, and because he is very thoughtful. The easiest thing to go to was, oh, you do too much. You bend over too much for me. I don't think any of it was real. I don't think any of it was real. I think it was just low hanging fruit for her.
But do you think that you should, like, do you think...
I don't think anything he did was wrong.
I feel like it's sad to see women who have not been treated well, and they take good treatment as somebody either trying to placate them or appease them in some way, shape, form, or fashion, instead of the fact that you're deserving of this attention, this love, and this respect. I find that to be sad.
Some people don't know how to handle prosperity, and some people don't know when they've won. And she's one of those people, and I think that's what you're talking about. Like, people who especially with social media, they ask for these things, and they make these things a mandate.
Right.
And some of y'all really wouldn't know what to do if you actually met somebody who was an capable, adequate spouse and showed up in your life the way that you would have wanted them to. That's
what I don't get. Like, for so many people to be outside talking about, you got to do this for me and do that for me and do this and do that for me. It's so fascinating to me when people get with people who do things for them, and they can't.
They don't know what to do.
It's so fascinating to me. You know what I mean? Because I tell y'all all the time, because I'm such a giver, I think I can be a big taker too. Not even a taker. I just demand certain things. The truth is like, I feel like, and not even in like a demand way, right? Because I'm not like that, but more like, there's a standard at which I operate, so I expect the person that I'm with to operate at the same standard. And I'm like really one of those people who, like, I don't believe that you should say no to me. And if you say no to me, there's a motherfucking problem, because there's somebody in the world who's gonna tell me yes. And it's like, and that's primarily because I just think that if you're with somebody, and if I wake up and my priority is you, and you wake up and your priority is me, ain't we full and taken care of?
Yeah.
I feel like that's how it should be. Like, he's just trying to make space and room for her, and she's just not used to somebody giving a damn about her. And that's sad, because to have a father and I'm taking this all the way back to daddy, because a lot of us have daddy issues, good or bad or indifferent. I think anybody with a daddy got daddy issues. Anybody without a daddy got daddy issues, because you could be spoiled. It could be anyone, any direction.
Your daddy could have been there, present, and amazing.
And you gonna be the worst
still got issues.
Yeah. But in real life, I think that, like, it stems from that, because her incessant need for validation is fascinating.
Yeah, it's a trauma. She has big trauma that she needs to deal with, and she has to deal with it very early, because she does do this thing where all he does is try to show up for her, and she gaslights him into thinking that he's doing something wrong. And that is annoying.
Joe, it's annoying to watch. It's scary. It's mental.
Yeah.
It's mental. So yeah, let's move on to Clint and Gina, which I was surprised they put them after them, but whatever. I guess it's going to be no, yes, no, yes. Because you're not going to get me to believe that if Shaq and Kirsten say no, Shaq did it for likes, and I don't give a damn what nobody's saying.
I don't think they're going to say no.
Well, let's get into Clint and Gina. I do not care what anybody says. This is a Clint Stan account, or at least I'm a Clint Stan. I don't think I have one bone to pick with him, and it's that I feel like he is too nice.
He doesn't advocate for himself, and that's my issue.
And I wonder what the too nice. Right, and I wonder why that is. It's got to be some kind of deep-seated thing that he's like, yeah, like, you're a good person too. I'm a good person. You're a good person too. Like that kind of thing. Like sometimes that's just not the case, and it's okay to say that. And I think for her to turn around, all Clint got out of this was that raggedy ass dog. That's the only thing he got out of this.
That was it. I think she never was a participant in this marriage, and then he allowed her. My one gripe with Clint is he allowed her to, from the beginning to the end, deflect. She deflected responsibility. She gaslit him the whole time, and he literally just kind of sat by and let it happen. And that's my one gripe with him. Even when he was in the presence of experts, he never really spoke up. He would get to the confessional space, the one-on-one camera time, and then he would say his true feelings. But he'd sit in front of Dr. Pepper and Pastor Cal. Even when you could tell that Pastor Cal wanted to say something, Pastor Cal said he asked her a question. He let her talk, and then he asked him, how do you feel about that?
But wait,
trying to open the door, and it was like, Pastor Cal, you know what you need to say right now. Just say it.
Let's talk about what she said, though. What she said was that if he had done more,
it was all him.
To make her feel more comfortable, they may have been further along in this process. And it's just like,
and that was her one regret. Gina made the caveat that her one regret was that Clint, she would have wished Clint did more.
Right.
That was, and it was crazy because for a minute, the way she started,
you thought she was going somewhere.
I thought she was about to be like, at least have some self-reflecting comments, and it was silly me. I don't know why, because she's never like shown any evidence of that. But I really thought that the way she started the sentence, I thought she was gonna really like take some responsibility, and she just true to form pushed it back on Clint. Like, I just wish you were better, and then maybe we would have been better.
But not that I don't know why I'm deep in my therapy bag today, y'all. I think it's time for me to have another session, maybe. So I'm thinking about things very viscerally, but I just really think this goes back to, I don't think everybody's a narcissist. I don't think everybody is like, we had this this surge of people who have narcissists. I don't believe that. However, I think that some people have traits of things, like your inability to take responsibility for things, but not because you just don't want to, but because you think taking responsibility for something would negatively affect your view or other people's view of you, to me is the worst. Like, I think the most upstanding individuals are able to say, you know what, maybe I didn't. Like when Aaron said, I didn't give 100%. I appreciated that so deeply, because it's like, so many people will sit in your face and lie.
Bold-faced lie.
And I really don't like that. You like tell a story or whatever story they've created in their brain, and then there's reality. And that's Gina. I take real issue with how they just let her coast throughout this. I take real issue
whatever she wanted to say
with the fact that the moment they didn't do the work, the moment Dr. Pepper asked them to watch them stupid ass movies and they didn't, and they came back the following week and asked them about it, I would have asked them right then and there, do y'all want to get a divorce?
Right.
Let's just end this. Nothing's happening. Do you want to get a divorce? We only 3 days away, so it's not going to make a difference.
Right.
To me, it's like nobody was holding their feet to the fire to make change, so they chose not to. And I recognize this is an experiment, so you can't really, you have these two pieces and you don't really want to manipulate them at all. You want them to thrive in their environment, however they are going to thrive or not. But it's just like, how do y'all watch this and not think we need to intervene sooner? How do y'all watch this and not think we got to really give them something to be responsible for? Blank, 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 blank. Because this was such a waste of this man's time. It's not even funny. I think the biggest thing that's going to come from this is that Clint is going to be the next Bachelor.
I think...
Put it on NBC and say that I did it.
I think that, to be honest...
Is that the channel?
I don't know. I don't watch it. I think it's ABC though. But I think that the reason they didn't really drop the gambit on them and hold their feet to the fire earlier, to be honest, my honest opinion on this is that I think that the producers told them not to, because they're dropping couples like flies. So I think that that would have been. I don't think they could have. They already is scrambling to keep these episodes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because nothing. Because I think
happening. They already knew they were going to say no on decision day, but I think they knew what the answer would be if they asked them that question, and then they thought, well, we down 2 couples.
I want to know what these women are saying or doing to get into these processes, and I want to say this: I get it. I get that ladies now have these outstanding expectations. They doing their thing, they doing this, they doing that, whatever the case may be. So now they're becoming the people who don't feel like they need to be pliable as much or whatever the case may be. But we cannot have another Gina and Clint. I feel like, how do y'all have a show where people get married at first sight and you can't find people who want to be married at first sight?
Yeah.
I don't understand what the hell is going on. Like, explain it to me.
Yeah, because you can't, drop 2 couples early. I mean, Clint and Gina could have been dropped just like Dom and Mac were dropped very early.
It's so messed up because Clint and Gina could really be great. Imagine all the things you have in common. Y'all live in the same building. You're a business owner. He's independently successful. However he get his money. I really be trying to figure out what people be wanting. To be alone. The truth is y'all be wanting to be alone.
Yeah, I don't get it. I don't think Gina was on here to get married.
She wasn't. She was on here to talk about her salon suite.
Well, she worked into the decision day as well, twice.
How did you work it into this?
Twice she worked it into decision day.
Let me tell y'all something. One of the things I actually really like about you, and this will kind of segue us into the other people, Kirsten and Shaquille. Mm-hmm. One thing I really, really like about you, Joe is like really lives his life in the entertainment space, like through and through. And this might be because we've known each other for so long. I don't know what it is, but I never feel like you bring it home. Like when Joe come in the door, Joe is my husband, period. Like, you know what I mean? Like, granted, we work from home together, but you know what I mean?
No, but yeah. Oh, we didn't always work.
But I also feel like there's times, because we got a lot of friends who are singers and songwriters. And let me give you an example of what I mean. Sometimes we'll go to like karaoke. I just told you this. I hate going to karaoke with people who can sing. Yeah. Y'all take the fun out of it. Yeah. It's like they want to get up there and you sitting there, you having a good goddamn time. You like, damn, Neil, I got to be on American Idol. That's not what I came here for. Right. I appreciate that you do not do that. Like, it's never, because sometimes when you want your spouse to talk about business, and he does, don't get me wrong, but it's not in a way ever to make my business feel small, because that's what she does. Oh, yeah, she does it constantly. That's what I'm getting at. That's what she does. Like, you the only on the earth with a business. It is 2023. Every bitch out here got an online boutique. Everybody got a business. Every bitch got a business. Everybody's a CEO. We all got an LLC, a 1099. We all doing it, bitch. What are you talking about? Everybody's a CEO. Everybody, you know what? The funny Lord Jesus. The true story. One of the groups I'm in was approached to
sign over permission to use a song in a campaign, political campaign. One of the incentives they was basically saying like, we don't have a lot of money, this, that, and the third, all of the bells and whistles, but we can offer you, stock. Like, we have stock in this company, we can offer you stock. And one of my band members said, well, what's the stock worth? And the guy said, nothing. That's where we are in the world today. Everybody's a CEO of companies that don't make any money. We got a friend who got a job that don't pay her. And that's all I'm going to say. I didn't say no names. Everybody's CEOs of companies that don't exist. They got stock that ain't worth nothing. We have to get, like, Gina, please.
I beg of you.
Please.
My brother is like the barber, okay? Like the barber, like no BS in Philadelphia. Even he's like a celebrity barber. We just spent like 3 dates together. He only spoke about it one time. And that was just to talk about going to see another place in Vegas. And not to say you shouldn't be proud. It's just that it is so clear that a lot of y'all identity is aligned with what you do for 8 hours a day. And that's just so fascinating.
But to me, to be honest, before we move on from this, to be honest, I think that the people who do bring it home, the people who do want to live in it, I'm going to pull a Zar and say, this might not sound, I don't caveat my stuff, I just say it, but are pretenders. I don't know any people who are legitimate in what they do who can't be around people and not talk about it constantly.
Right.
I don't know any. And I've been around people from the starving artists to the big artists.
Right.
And the people who are at that level, I've never experienced that Gina vibe. Because to me, that's the difference between the contenders and the pretenders.
Right. Like, I know a ton of people who own salons.
They don't do that. It's like rich people who don't. Real rich people don't talk about being rich.
But I'm not saying don't
only
talk about
the aspiring rich people talk about being rich.
And nobody's saying don't talk about your business. But the truth of the matter is, this ain't Real Housewives of Nashville.
Yeah, we do.
So this ain't the place for you to be selling and peddling us your 99-cent fashions or whatever the case may be. That's not what this is. So the truth is, you came on here to get married. All you talking about is some hair, but we never seen you pick up a comb, a brush. Say, hell, we didn't even see you do your hair. Explain it to me. I just feel like
I never
want to see the slime monster again.
I always know I'm around an amateur when they talking about what they do too much.
It bothers me so deeply.
It's such a sign.
But you know what? I'm not even in that life. I always know when I'm around an amateur when they talk about it too much.
It's a sign.
I'm around it enough to be like,
sign. Yeah.
You're doing too much right now. Like, just sit down and shut up. Like, it's not that deep. Like, you know what I mean? Like, just respect the vibe. It's the equivalent of when Beyonce and them was at that joint and Beyonce dancing with Sweetie, they vibing, whatever, and somebody tried to film it. And Jay-Z snatched the phone. Like, respect the vibe. Like, we here for something else right now. You know what I mean? But she whack. She's whack. She's whack. High key, she better never hope I get the damn name of her salon because I'm going on there and running the Yelp reviews to the ground. To the ground. Last but not least, Shaq and Kirsten. Shaq is too motherfucking needy. That's it and that's all. He's too needy. He's too needy.
Yeah. I think Shaq, I hope that they say, I hope that Shaq, I feel like Shaq is going to go first for some reason, so we should prop bet on that. I think Shaq is going to say yes. I hope he says yes, because I think that Kirsten, it can be a capable partner. I think that Kirsten can be somebody who he can actually flourish with. I think they like each other. Ultimately, I do think they like each other, away from all of this extra BS and them wallowing in whatever pity happened, because Shaq is doing it too, wallowing in the pity from something. She gave him the cold shoulder, and she gave him the cold shoulder in the beginning, which is a fault of hers, but then she recovered.
But I don't think it's a fault of hers. I think it is,
and that's
her.
okay. No.
I think it
that's
can
okay.
be her. She was not ready
She wasn't a participant very early on.
But
she wasn't, and that's a fault of hers.
But hear me out. We can't say that and negate the fact that these people are opening up their lives for the first time ever.
Yeah, but
to
this is the process
so
you
the
signed
fact
up
that
to. Don't sign up if you're not going to do the things that they asked you to do and be a part of the process.
But she wasn't not doing it.
She wasn't. She was not an active participant in this process.
I don't agree with that.
But the thing, disagree or not, she wasn't an active participant in this process. She didn't. She gave him the cold shoulder 100% of the time in the beginning of this. And we talked about this. But again, you sign up for a show called Married at First Sight. I don't hold the people on this show to the same standards that I hold people who walk out in the world in the dating space under their own circumstances, right? The reason is because you signed up for this.
I guess.
Right? So if you sign up for a show called Married at First Sight, there is a big chance that you're going to be paired with somebody who you're not attracted to in the beginning, because this is not an excuse. That's why. Because I think that the idea that you not being attracted to your spouse in the beginning is not an excuse to not be a participant in the process, which is what Gina did, it's not an excuse, right? And so I think that in the beginning, and I'm giving her credit, she turned it around. In the beginning, she was checked out. She was giving him dust.
All right.
She was not an active participant in the process because she was not attracted to him, and it was very obvious, right? But then I'm gonna give her credit. She turned it around. She turned it around. It's not how you start, it's how you finish. All that. I'm giving her all of that, right? She turned it around, but then he wallowed in that, right? So she became an active participant. He grew on her. This is why the process is the process. Because if you just like we said about Gina and Clint and Eris and Jasmine, you never know how this thing can grow. If you just trust the process, you never know how this can grow. So just go into it and saying, listen, we're married now. Yeah. We live together. At the very least, I can do these assignments. I can show up. I can be here. I can be present.
He also is used to it's ego. Ego is the
So that's what I was getting to. He eventually. So when she did begin to really give herself over to the process, she ended up liking him, and then he realized it, and then his ego wouldn't let him let go of what happened in the past. So then he had all these demands.
But I'm still stuck on this stupid ass thing. You got to you got to support me in my educational endeavors. What more could this woman do? Write your papers?
That wasn't real either.
Like, I'm just so...
That wasn't
unrealistic.
Real. That wasn't real.
It's just unrealistic. Like, what do y'all be expecting from people? Why can't you be enough? Why can't she be so enamored with you? Why is it that you got to pontificate with all these things that you do for these kids? We do not know. She do not know. Nothing like that. Like, it's so...
I think
it's a little bit... It's telling.
I think that was a page out of Nicole's playbook. This was a lot of ego and emotions that was bottled up from what happened in the beginning, leaking into where they were in the present day.
It's so weird. You're reading my mind, because I was just thinking he overproduces like Nicole. Mm-hmm. Oh, Kirsten is happy. She like, yeah, we're gonna see each other tomorrow. I don't want you to leave. He like, yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna say yes or no. Well, if you don't get your ugly ass, that was
ego to me.
That's nothing but ego, and it's whack. It's whack. The truth of the matter is, you want to be the person in a relationship, and you're not.
The truth of the matter is, you outkick your coverage, and Kirsten is above your.
Let's keep it 100,000.
I'm just saying, I don't want to be.
No, we gotta keep it 100,000.
So humble yourself and realize. I know you feel like you got the upper hand now.
That's right, Daddy.
But humble yourself and understand what you have. That's all I'm saying, and I wish for y'all the best.
Humble yourself. You're the beast.
Not the.
She's the beauty. Okay, like you
won. You people don't know when they won. You won. Shaq,
won.
You won.
High key, you should be like Chris. High key. I be waiting on that bitch hand and foot as bad as she is. Are you kidding me?
You won. Like, I get it.
She won a Lamborghini. Let me get out here on the track and get my girl Lambo.
You won. Your feelings was hurt in the beginning. We get it. She tried to play you. The joke was on her because she ended up like you anyway. You won.
You won. But this is why these women be like, this is why you don't date ugly men. Because the moment you start dating ugly men, they start to think they the pretty one. They start to think, oh, I'm cute too. Like, no, but you're ugly.
I bet they milked this.
Wayne here looking at
no. I bet they milked this Decision Day segment because he milked his response. He gonna milk this to the very. He gonna say yes. I'm gonna be surprised if he say no. I think he gonna say yes, but I think he milked it down to the very.
No, it's all ego. It's very clear she likes you. If she didn't like you, she wouldn't have introduced you to her father. Anything. She could have went this whole process and not introduced you at all. You know what I mean? Like it would be real whack. It would be real whack.
I think he's gonna.
And honestly, if he says no, or if he says anything close to no, or try to, I'm honestly gonna tell all the Jones out there, we done with these ugly mother jumpers. No, we only want 10s and above. Period. I'm about to tell y'all. I'm about to tell y'all.
He gonna say you.
Because we can't even be giving these mugs the time of day. They turn around thinking they could tell you now. Who are you talking to?
Yeah, he gonna say.
That was it. Like, I can't believe they left us on a cliffhanger. That was stupid. And it ain't even really a cliffhanger, high key. The cliffhanger would have been Clint kissing the John. That's the cliffhanger.
What? Kissing who?
The John Mac ex-wife.
Clint kissed Dom?
You wasn't watching the preview?
They ain't kiss on the John.
They kissed in the mouth.
But you did this last week, babe. You gotta stop doing this. Let's go.
Oh, sorry. Well, we did it. If you have not already, do us a favor, bust steam, subscribe to this Mammy Tatum channel. I'm Intisar Eleanor. This is my beautiful husband, Joseph. And I guess we'll see you hoes next week. Bye.